to my channel. My name is Demi, and today I just thought I'd sit down with you and talk about K-pop and mainly concepts and just my opinions overall. So, like, if you see me looking down, I have my notes right next to me, and I just thought, let's chat while I do my makeup. So I'm going to be using the MUA Makeup Academy foundation and my e.l.f. concealer. Like, I'm not really planning to do like a full face. I'm just kind of doing like light everyday makeup, and also everything that I use will be in the description box and will be linked down below. So let's get into my first opinion. My first opinion is that K-pop stars in general, I just feel like you need to realize there is, well, I feel like now we've already realized there are types of concepts for girl groups. Like, there's not just cute and there's not just girl crush. But if we're being completely honest, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I just feel like cute concepts are kind of dead now. Like I feel like the last time we really saw an actual just straight cute concept, it would be like early G-Friend days, and like when they were doing like super innocent, like really sweet and just like almost kind of like pure concepts. But nowadays you just don't really see that anymore, and I just don't think cute concepts are around anymore. Which kind of leads into my next opinion, which is just basically that most concepts we see nowadays aren't just one. I feel like they're all slowly morphing into different kinds of hybrids. For example, like, I'm gonna say as far as to like mainly what I think of this would be Twice. And like, Twice are the poster childs of cute. Like, we all know it. Like, that's what they're known for, that's what got them famous, and that's not in no way a bad thing. It's just that they're known for being cute. But honestly, if we look through their title tracks and their discography, Twice have never done just a simply cute concept. It's always some kind of mix of something. It's always some kind of aesthetic, or like either zombie or just fairy, or like just like fun house carnival. Like, it's never just simply cute, which is kind of like, I think that's both a good and a bad thing, because the good part, it would be that it gives a lot more variety, it's a lot more creativity, and it makes people have fun, because like, I know like everyone likes to be like visuals don't matter, but they do. Like, you know when the video looks good and when it looks bad. Like, and pretty videos do usually do more. Like, so like visuals do matter. But honestly, I'm gonna go as far as to say that Twice kind of popularized this in a way, because they came right out the gate doing cute, but they did cute almost kind of differently. Like, they mixed it with a lot of things during their entire career, and it's almost kind of become the norm now. This kind of leads me into my second opinion which is about Twice, which you might disagree with me, but personally, Twice never changed their concept. Like, never once. It did evolve and it is more mature. So if you want to call that a change, then I would have to say that that is partly true. But personally, I think that's more of just like a change in sound and like a change in aesthetics, more as like a whole concept change. Because everyone likes to say like Twice's concept change came with fancy, like fancy era, but like, look at Yes or Yes, Yes or Yes, and then look at Fancy. Sonically, and like the songs are different, but concept wise and like the aesthetics are slightly different, but concept wise and like feel, it's not really that different. It's not really that far off in my opinion. Like it's still the same happy, bubbly, just like yes or yes was a little bit more out there because of like the whole like funhouse concept, but it's honestly kind of like the same concept. Like another opinion is that would be also be Everglow. During the first start of their career, like Everglow did kind of get a little bit of hate that I saw on Twitter, mainly from like, I don't want to say just blinks because we don't really know if all of them were blinks, but I did see a lot of comments say that they were copying Blackpink's style, which is just it's kind of ridiculous to me because one, Blackpink didn't popularize Girl Crush, 21 did, and to be fair, you can even say that no one's really doing the Girl Crush that 21 started anyway, because like look at 21's Concepts, which was literally the creation of Girl Crush, and then look at Girl Crush, what's categorized as Girl Crush today. They're very different. Like they're almost nowhere near similar. So like, and like Blackpink didn't start that, they didn't popularize it, and like this is no shade to Blackpink anyway. Like I have nothing against them. Like I'm not Blink, but I just like I have nothing against them, and like the hate they get is disgustingly ridiculous. But that's like a whole separate video. So basically, like it's not really, you can't really call them copycats because it's not really true. Plus, I would go as far to say like even though like they're both categorized as Girl Crush, they both do it very differently. Like Blackpink, their songs very much appeal and try to appeal to the Western demographic, to the Western audience, whereas and like they have this very like confident, like glamorous, but like with like a mix of like street style to their concept and to their aesthetic, whereas Everglow don't really have that. Like theirs is very much just glamorous, like the glitter, the leather outfits, like from an Adios, it's very much just glamour. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm personally forever, so like I love that kind of concept. I think it's great, but the comparisons to the Blackpink just don't really make sense. Okay, now let's go into my next opinion, and this arguably might be the most controversial, but in my opinion, concepts are slowly dying. I feel like mainly this is just like a group thing, but to be fair, I am seeing quite the same thing with boy groups as well. Is that K-pop companies, and like I'm talking about specifically companies here, not groups, just the company. Concepts are kind of becoming a thing of the past because it's really just more of aesthetics now. Like there's not really that same storyline or like that same core theme as the way they used to be. Like, can you remember like early 2000s K-pop where like almost everything had an intro to it? Like every song there was this kind of like story, there was the same theme, like it was very they stuck to something very like set in stone of like this is how the vibe is, this is the concept. Whereas nowadays it's kind of just like a mix of like, oh, this looks pretty, this kind of goes one thing, these are similar, which kind of, in my opinion, is why we see so many people calling like different groups and different things and different music videos the same concept. And it's because like no one really cares about concept anymore. like from like I feel like if you just look at a company perspective, no one really cares about concept anymore. It's just simply aesthetics and the song itself. And like, and depending on your opinion, that's like a good or a bad thing. But I personally think it's a little bit of both, because while it does produce very pretty videos and very like pretty like aesthetics in music videos to watch, it kind of feels like that whole part of what made K-pop a little like so different and what kind of special is slowly starting to fade. Because like I became a K-pop fan in 2015, and like the first groups that I ever found out about were BTS and EXO, and BTS still have their storyline, and a lot of groups still have their storyline, and that's one of their main selling points. And I think it's amazing that they've been able to create this whole like cinematic universe. But I remember like also liking a bunch of like smaller other groups who kind of did the same thing. And like even though it wasn't an entire universe, they still had like cinematic videos, which is like I remember like one of the main music videos that I used to watch, like I watched it repeatedly and watched it all over and over, was like, I can't remember the name, but it was like the BAP video. I think it was like the one shot video, and like basically I want to see that go back to K-pop. Like I just want, like, I feel like K-pop has lost its theatrics in a way. No one's really trying to like be wow and be like set in stone of one specific thing going on. It's just you, and like you can see that with like the amount of glamour shots we get in music videos nowadays. It's just like most music videos are just like, okay, here's a glamour shot of the member walking around, here's a glamour shot of them dance, of them like sitting or like floating in the air or doing this or doing that, and then like straight back to dancing, and just like straight back to them just dancing with the group or dancing by themselves. And like that's like a typical music video, there's nothing really wrong with that. But like, can you imagine how much fun K-pop would be if more groups went back to just having like a set storyline, like a set theme that's going on in the music video? And like this isn't to say like there's absolutely none, because like there are some. Like I know Ace recently just did like a very cool like a full-on concept and a full-on storyline in their like favorite boys come back, which looked amazing. Not just not just the whole like concept and like the video itself, but like just the clothes and everything. It literally looked absolutely amazing. But I feel like whenever groups even do have a concept, it's stuck to like simply just the visuals. Like the visuals have become the concept, and like this leads me, like this is gonna lead to like another unpopular opinion, which is that I feel like K-pop stars need to realize that sound does not equal concepts. They're not the same thing. Like they're just not. Like, sorry, I'm looking at my notes again. And like my main example for this would be CLC, because I am Cheshire, or Cheshire, like however you say it, but I'd say Cheshire because Cheshire just sounds gross. Like, I'm sorry, it sounds terrible. Like, I don't know why you'd say it like that. But mainly, like, and like CLC, like their main gripe of why people say that they can't get a secure Korean fan base is that they don't have it, because of their concept changes. They don't have a set like sound, and like people don't know what to place them as, which I can see what you mean, but personally I would disagree. Like I would very strongly disagree that they do have a set sound, because like go back and listen to their albums, like Black Dress, No One, like Cray Style especially, like that album I feel like made their sound and cemented it. Like they do have a very clear sound, it's just that it's never portrayed to casual listeners because their title tracks are so different. Like unless you were actually a Cheshire, unless you were actually part of the fandom, you would not know what their sound was because like you might not care enough to listen to the album, which a lot of people do, and like again, like no shame, there's nothing wrong with that. Like to say like they don't have a sound is just simply inaccurate. Well, in my opinion anyway, because I really think they do. I think they do have a very clear set sound. So sorry, I'm just putting on Vaseline. My lips are crusty. I'm so sorry about that. Like if you're looking this whole time, I apologize. Just ignore them. Like they do have a very set sound. Like, and I feel like that's like even like right now with Helicopter, I feel like this arguably, like this and Black Dress arguably are like comebacks, and like specifically the title tracks that actually do show their sound the best. But I feel like for people to actually get into their music and to actually like want to listen to their sound, they oh great, that's fun. Okay, like for like people to actually like know what their sound is and to want to listen, like more than just casual fans, like Cube is seriously gonna have to like give them a title track that like that communicates like the vibe of an entire album of the whole album to not just Cheshire's, because like No was a good song, like and it did really work for No One, like the whole concept thing, like it did fit the concept, it did fit the theme, but like it was very different from the rest of the album, like very different. And mainly just because like listen to all the B-sides, like listen to songs like It, No, and then like come back to No. Like No feels like it's in an entire, it feels like it's not even part of the album sometimes, like it's just entirely on its own and they just stuck it in there for fun because it would sell well, which like isn't bad because it did get them wins and a good song. But like I don't even have a problem with companies doing this, because I do feel like yes, like if you use your most marketable song to sell, that's great, but like in order to get more people interested, you should like more companies should be performing B-sides along, because I remember when Dreamcatcher, I think it was Period, like Dystopia of the Tree, that album, like they performed like 2 other title tracks with it, which was a really smart move in my opinion from Happy Place, because one of the main thing with Dreamcatcher is that like not everyone might like the title tracks, but like a lot of people who do or are just casual fans get into them through their B-sides, and I'm talking from experience because that was me. Well, I do like some of the title tracks have grown on me. Like I became an insomnia through Puri, I think that's the name. Like yeah, I think it's that's how you pronounce it, Puri. I became an insomnia through that. But like what got me to stay was the B-sides, because I just thought they were great. So like Cube specifically, and just a lot of other companies, that needs to be their next move. Like a lot more people need to do this. And also like going back to like my other opinion of like how sound doesn't equal concepts. Like I remember when like everyone was talking about Twice changing their concept and like how like they're going for like more mature and like darker, which I still don't think their concept like changed, but I definitely think they get more mature. And I remember when I think it was the Japanese release, like BS something, like the one with the, I can't remember the name, but the one with the tank. To me, that is not a concept change. Like that is just simply an aesthetic change, and like it's not really that even far from an aesthetic change, because again, like look at like Rouge and then look at that song. Visually, it's not that far off, and the songs still give up the same vibe. So like that was not a concept change, like at all. It really wasn't. Like this, like no hate to the song, and it's not a bad song, and like no hate to Twice, like because like I love Twice. Like they make really good music, and like I feel like I'm one of the few people who like felt like they never really needed to change. Like this is like a whole other separate opinion, but companies need to stop wanting every single group in their company, or like just every single group to be versatile. Like sometimes it's better to just stick to what works for you. Like if you have a model, a business model, and you have a set place in the industry and in the market that works for you, stick to it. Like why are you changing? Don't fix it if it's not broken. It's perfectly fine. And Twice, like feel special, and more, it does definitely feel like they themselves wanted to be more mature, because like they had grown out of that, like their big quote unquote cute concept. But again, this is another opinion. I don't think Twice were ever cute. I feel like they were always just bubbly, refreshing, but like refreshing concepts, like bubbly, happy concepts. But like I don't think they were ever just like cute, because like in my opinion, like cute, like I've already said this, but cute is like G-Friend, like early days G-Friend, like Glass Bead, like rough, like on, like I don't think that was ever really that cute. Like it's the same way how like I don't think Everglow debuted with like quote unquote girl crush, because like I feel like the only reason people even called Bumbo Chocolate girl crush is mainly because of the beat drop in the chorus. Like honestly, Kpop stands will hear one single beat drop and be like, oh, they're going cute now, oh, they're going girl crush now, they changed their concepts. Like just because it's not happy and bouncy, it's automatically girl crush, when really like Ula and like Bon Bon Chocolat, in my opinion, like if they were released today, I feel like a lot of people would class them as teen crush, to be honest. Like Bon Bon Chocolat without the beat drop is literally teen crush. It's it's like a little bit, maybe even a hybrid of teen crush and like glamorous and elegant concepts because of like other scenes, but like the uniforms, the whole classroom kind of aesthetic, take away the beat drop and it literally fits with teen crush. Like it's basically just any other a school concept. So yeah, and which pretty much just all ties around to this, concepts are dying out. Like it's literally all just about visuals now, and again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of like, maybe I'm just talking about me, but this year K-pop has gotten really boring. And like not in the sense of like I think everyone's doing the same thing, because I don't. Like we are getting some like interesting releases and interesting songs, but like there's not the same like spark or charm that it used to have. That like I feel like it's just kind of fading. Like, let me know your opinions, like, down in the comment section below. Like, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you have completely other opinions? I'd really love to know, because like, what do you guys think? Like, do you think concepts are dying out too? Because like, do you think like the charm is still there, or do you agree like it's all just becoming visuals now? Yeah, so that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know your opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have complete separate opinions? Do you not even really care about concepts? Or do you think that yes, concepts still are set in stone? They are still very clear that it's not all just visuals and aesthetics nowadays. I would really love to hear your opinions. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which I will put right here. And yeah, I'll see you next week.